Alex Nelson with the At Me Bro Show, and we're going to be doing a deep dive on Malcom Brogdon, who I just unlocked from doing the Pacers challenges, which, thanks to Lance Stevenson, were pretty easy. Anytime you can have a really good player from that team in your main lineup, it takes about two to make it really easy. The two that I ran with were Sabonis and Lance Stevenson, and that made that challenge pretty easy to do. So getting to Brogdon, so he's 6'5". He's got fantastic hot zones. He's gonna have fairly elite shooting, and we're hoping he'll also have elite defense. Now, the cards that he is competing with, in terms of price range and role, are in the role being a 6'5" defensive guard at the point guard, right? 6'5" or better, is Michael Ray Richardson, who's very cheap. But is very limited when it comes to animations. Ron Harper, who is phenomenal at animations. He's in the Diamond Token Rewards, which for some people is good news because they haven't gotten through the tokens yet. For some people is bad news because they have to go back, and while they're building up for their Galaxy Opals or Pink Diamonds, they got to spend on that Ron Harper if they want that card. And then there's this card, which costs you basically nothing, especially if you've been listening to me and every other YouTuber screaming to the high heavens how good Lance Stevenson is. Chances are, with just Lance Stevenson and like Rick Smith or something, you can get through that Pacers thing very easy, almost no matter what your skill level is. All right, so let's see what. So that's who Malcom Brogdon is generally competing with. I'll also throw in Chauncey Billups, who I don't know if he's 6'4" or 6'3" in this game. I think maybe he's 6'3", but he feels a little bigger. Maybe he's 6'4", but he can't dunk. That's his thing. So everybody kind of has something. So Malcom Brogdon is a 99 midi and a 99.3, which is just absolutely outstanding. His driving dunk is a 75, so already we see his little kind of baby Achilles heel. He's not an elite dunker. So when you compare him to, say, Lonzo Ball, who's another one in this class, Lonzo is going to be a better dunker than he is. But he's a better shooter. I can tell you he's going to be a better shooter in terms of the versatility because Lonzo has a weird kind of double hop on his hezzy jumpers, which doesn't allow you to really do the hezzy jumper the same way as every other character. Not saying Lonzo's a bad card, but he just has that weakness. So you see the ball handle's out of control. So the main thing we're looking for in these cards is the speed, and the interior defense. It's like, can they stand up to some of these bigger guards, preventing them from the inside? So you see a 66 interior D is not phenomenal. He's got a 93 perimeter defense, which is to be expected. His 91 steal, which is fantastic. His block rating is really low, which is generally an indicator that he's not a great interior defender. And what's his strength rating? Is a 56. So he strikes out on all of the interior defense. But all is not lost yet. We got to look at his badges. So he has Hall of Fame clamps. No intimidator. All right. So it's interesting because Eric Bledsoe has all of like those things kind of in reverse. He has like the Hall of Fame intimidator. I have to take a look at his interior defensive stats again. But I would say play the Eric Bledsoe. If you unlocked Eric Bledsoe, play him and see how he performs for you defensively, because he's one of those cards that might play way bigger than his height. And let's look at the playmaking badges. So he's got Hall of Fame quick first step, Hall of Fame dimer, excellent, bailout, great. No ankle breaker, no tight handles, and no space creator. So he's not going to be getting stun animations off the dribble. But here's where he really shines in these shooting badges. Hall of Fame quick draw and range extender, which is just as good as it gets. And then he has a whole bunch of other good shooting badges as well. Did he have Deadeye? Okay, no Deadeye. Worth noting. You know, it's a good... Oh, no, I'm sorry. My bad. Hall of Fame Deadeye. Rewind the tape. Edit that out. He has Hall of Fame Deadeye. So as a shooter, he's like absolutely elite. And you see here as a finisher, he is solid, but not great. So let's go ahead and get into the animations. You guys already saw the hot zones. Because of his high hair, he looks bigger than 6'5". It's probably an illusion. But yeah, the shot feels amazing. Great, just really great release all around. Shoot one more green. He's a card that is very fun to shoot with. I'll tell you that much. So let's see his midi. Let's see his leaner. Yeah, he definitely feels very good to shoot with. I could almost recommend this card almost just based off his shot, because when a card shoots this reliably, you see his leaners. His leaners are okay. They're kind of in that mid range between creating space and going straight up, which is not the best. That's definitely not going to be the strength of his game. Not the best leaner animation in the world. Not the worst. It's just kind of something you have in your back pocket if people are running you off the three-point line. Not hitting a green window, but I don't I don't criticize that too much, because with leaners, I would say you want to take at least 15 minutes to look at all of the leaner animations to get a feel for the green window. And we can see here, as I concentrate a little bit more, the greens are popping up. All right, let's get into these full court animations. Okay, he has the elite behind the back. So this automatically just levels him up in my mind, right? Just with that behind the back, knowing that he has a high ball control. We're going to talk about that behind the back for a second. So this gives you access to a lot of moves in the half court, right? So say you do a half spin. He switched hands on me by accident. Okay, say you do a half spin. Once you get momentum, that behind the back is going to slide you forward. So that's automatically one way that it works. Alan, what's up? What's up? Freddie G, how's it going, man? So same thing with this behind the back here. As soon as he starts running, you can hit the running behind the back as well. So in the half court, this move is very, very powerful. Same thing here. If you're what kind of, so he doesn't have the Pro 3 Hezi, unfortunately. But same thing here. You once you start running in any momentum whatsoever, you can hit that behind the back. So few cards have had that. A few more popping up with it. But it's worth noting, like, so few cards had it in my initial card reviews. I was reviewing everybody, like Dwayne Wade. You guys, you see it archives. But nobody had the park behind the back, but he has it. So we can talk about it a little bit more now that it's a little more prevalent of a move. But yeah, that move is very, very, very strong. B. Wilson, what's up, what's up? All right, so he has a nice dunk animation there. All right, let's keep organized here. So let's go to the rest of the full court dribbles. So the crossover, not phenomenal. You know what? I'll take that back. That's a good crossover. That's a really good crossover. It's pretty quick. It's pretty quick. It looked a little weirder in the half court. Okay, now he's giving me... Oh, there we go. Okay, just make sure you're not on the right trigger when you do that. All right, let's see his hesitation cross. The left stick, excellent. Excellent left stick hezi cross. I might make a video just on that move, because that move is actually kind of broken, to be honest with you. You see that behind the back. So swift. Okay. I'm going to check his in and out, some more hesitation branches, then we're going to get into the half court, into the nitty gritty. Great in and out. Okay, and his between the legs looks like a nice shooter's between the legs. So you do this up court, you go completely to the side, and then you can pop into your hezi jumper. Can he? So, okay, so he might have to do the behind the back jumper, because, yeah, his hezi jumper is pretty weak. Okay, he has it, but it's a pretty small window, and because he doesn't have a good hesitation, there's no point in doing it. I'm going to review this real quick, because a lot of people ask me about this, and we're going to, if you're watching this video, here's a little bonus for you. So the reason, anybody can do this behind the back, pull up into shot, right? And that's a good move, no question. But the reason you want the hesitation version is because with the hesitation version, it gives you the opportunity to read your opponent and decide if you want to shoot. When you go behind the back and you pull into the shot, you have to cancel right away to get the best out of that move. So that's only good if you're shooting, right? And if the opponent is closing out on you and at the last second you decide not to do it, you're completely stuck. You can't do anything off of this except reset, right? Now you can dribble off of that. So if a card has elite ball handles, they can really, you know, they can cook off of that and momentum dribble and stuff like that, like your boy Lance here. But when they have the Pro 3 hesitation, you have access. And I know I have videos on this, but some people aren't watching all of the archives. I got a lot of new viewers. You can either keep going, you can change direction, go the other way, which I cannot stress enough how effective this is, or you can hezi right into the shot. So when you have the Pro 3 hezi, it's superior, in my opinion, to the peekaboo because it gives you access to all three options. And the peekaboo is available to everybody, right? So you don't need to rely on the peekaboo, aka the behind the back shot. But for cards like this, he needs the peekaboo, because that's the only way he's going to stop and set his feet immediately, reliably. And even if you do master the timing of this dribble right here, which he does have it, he has a slight hop when he does it, and he doesn't have any options out of his hesitation. So there's no reason to do a hesitation with him, really. If you want to hesitate with this card, you're going to tap left trigger, right? And off the left trigger, you can also shoot cancel off of that. So there are three ways to cancel, right? And off the left trigger, you can also explode out of it in either direction. That's the same hand. Tap left trigger, opposite. Well, let's try that again. Tap left trigger, opposite direction. Every card has access to that. They might have different speeds based on their animations. And then tap left trigger into step back. And you see here he has an elite step back as well. So that's huge for Malcom. It doesn't combo the best out of that. It's okay, but I anticipate it's going to be a good combo out of the momentum. So let's take a look. And there it is. So this step back is awesome when you combo it out of dribble combos. It just combos so well out of all dribble moves. And that's what his game is going to be relying around, right? So you've got the behind the back, which is going to be a go-to move for him. The running behind the back, not the, explosive behind the back. So you've got the running behind the back, which is fantastic. And then out of his combos, he's got this step back, which allows him to create space in a really, really great way and immediately change directions or shoot because he has Hall of Fame range extenders. So the step back is dangerous from this far out. And it combos off of everything. So I'm going to go through a few things. Well, let's look at his between the legs. He has a good between the legs. You guys can tell if it's a good between the legs with how low they crouch. You see that crouch? That's your explosion window. So when you it takes a little timing practice, but there you see it. The explosive, you can explode out of that between the legs. That's very, very good for when people press up on you, right? So people press up on you. This between the legs is hard to steal from. Works really well behind screens, and that's why I always talk about the killer crossover, because the killer crossover requires that between the legs, and he has the killer crossover as well. So the more I look at Malcom Brogdon, the more I definitely like this card. He has a really nice game to him. He can basically do almost everything. He's elite except for the lack of the pro hezi. But he has an elite step back. He has a really nice running behind the back, which is excellent to combo out of. And let's look at his between the legs and the half court. So this is another combo I've started to do more and more, both in Park and in my team. His isn't that great. So his half spin, off the half spin with him, you definitely want to go to the behind the back option. Once you get running, that's going to give you the most momentum if you're looking to rim run. And obviously, if you're looking to do other things, you can change branches off that half spin. Let's see if he has the... He does not have the behind the back teleport either. All right, so let's check his double cross. Since he has the... yeah, woo, he's got a really nice double cross. That's a really nice double crossover. So same thing, if you hesitate with him, the benefit to him having this hesitation is you can reset your dribbles right away, right? So off of this, so it's not a useless hesitation. It's just you have to master how to use it, and coming off of this hesitation, you want to practice the timing of all their combos, because if you do your moves too quickly, you will get some of these auto combos that are branching out of it. But if you give it that just a little bit of delay, you can go into whatever you want. And he's as you can see, he's very swift comboing out of that stuff. So he has a very nice raw size up package. His between the legs, his behind the backs, they're all very, very strong. So yeah, I would say Malcom Brogdon is a very high level card that you can do a lot of work with. I saw on 2K Gamer some people posting up numbers with this card. I think he's really good. I think he's very, very strong. So we're gonna look at his layup and dunk animations. Oh, actually, before we do that, let's look at him in the triple threat. He has a glitchy triple threat. Cool. Check out some of these triple threat explosions. That one's okay. Just going to check a few directions here. Pretty good spin out of the triple threat. Not elite, but solid. Again, I'm looking for people who have that Jimmy Butler one. Man, Jimmy Butler, he cancels animation frames out of that. Ooh, he's very nice going the... yeah, nice going the other direction, too. Very good on him. Oh, very nice step back out of the triple threat. That's gorgeous. That's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I have to say, I didn't care too much about this Malcom Brogdon card, but now that I've played with him, I'm very excited. This was definitely a for the culture review where I know a lot of people are curious about the card, so I wanted to get it. And I'm going for Siakam anyway. But I was definitely not thinking of this card as somebody I would play. As it is, I could easily see him being my third PG in my rotation. No question. No question. It just depends on how bad he gets bullied by the bigger guards. But the fact that he's a knockdown shooter, he has access to a good handful of elite dribbles, and he's going to be really good coming off of screens, shooting from very far away. Yeah, I like him. Scores well off the triple threat. High praise for this card. All right, so let's look at his dunk animations. So that is his weak hand dunk. As you see, a tremendous gather, changing hands, so you never want to do that. And I'm going to say this every time because I realize if people don't watch every video, they don't see everything. So the way dunk packages work is every dunk package does not give you the same level of dunk animations from each hand. Some characters dunk much stronger with one hand. Some characters dunk very well both ways, and some characters might have one bad dunk animation, like when they switch hands. So that's why we go through these dunk packages like this, so you can see which ones are good and which ones are lacking. All right, so we're gonna go strong hand. So that's the best he gives you going to his strong hand, which is not a great sign for Mr. Brodgon. Strong hand, forward on the stick. That's a very nice dunk. His forward on the stick dunk is very nice. Very, very minimal gather. He goes up strong with two hands. He doesn't put the ball down or anything. We're going to check the flashy from the strong hand. Pretty slow gather. I would definitely not recommend doing that. All right, and we're going to do it one more time. We're going with the strong hand. We're going to transfer to the weak hand. And he went into a hop dunk. Let's try that again. That might have been me on the angle there. There we go. And we see there. So that's the switch hands. You see when he switches hands, he has a terrible gather. So if you're going up with your right hand, you definitely want to either go up with the right hand outright or go up with the go forward on the stick. If you have the ball in your right hand with Malcom Brodgon, do not switch hands. You are probably going to get blocked. All right, so now we're going to check the weak hand dunks. Okay, so if he has the ball in his weak hand and he doesn't switch hands, he goes up okay. So he can dunk left and right. Let's see, switch into the strong hand. Okay, so that's good news for Malcom Brodgon. So the main thing is just don't switch hands with him if the ball is in your strong hand. If you're going up with the weak hand, he's fine either way. He does have a gather, but it's not like a automatically get block gather. We're going to check forward on the stick. Yeah, same thing. So he's a solid dunker. Minimal gathers as long as you stay away from his bad dunks. So definitely when you're going up with Malcom Brodgon, never press square. Don't just, let the computer decide for you, because he has a couple of bad dunks that they can give you and ruin an opportunity. Let's check his hop dunks. Very nice hop dunk. Very nice hop dunk. 6'5" point guard. Shout out to them. All right, so that's going to just about wrap it up. I think Malcom Brodgon is a super good card. I think he's going to be a lot of fun. He has access to a lot of fun stuff if you're a dribbler who likes to dribble, like myself. And even if you're just a player who likes to play around screens, I do think that Malcom Brodgon has stuff for that style as well, because of that really fast between the legs. That really fast between the legs is what allows you to explode behind screens. And he has the same thing if he's going to do a regular crossover. You can do it as well. You don't have to do it between the legs. Anytime a character goes into that deep crouch off of their simple dribbles, you can explode very quickly out of it. You just have to master the timing of not getting that hop right there. You want to avoid that hop, which I've gotten 3 times in a row now. So there's a little timing window to it. You don't want to you got to catch it before the ball goes that high. Try and get it one time for you guys so you can see it. And he just wants to do it every time now. There we go. There we go. That's the quick explosion. Very good behind the screen, but you definitely have to go into practice mode and master the timing of that if you're going to do it. It's a high price to pay for a simple move, but it is well worth it once you master it, because it's a very small steal window. You can throw it in anywhere, and when people are switching sides on the screen, if they're trying to ice you, you can decide which direction you go, because it works off of the between the legs and the crossover. So you can just go back to the other hand anytime you want. You can, if they're on your left side, you can come back to the right side. You can switch hands, do whatever you want. Very, very strong once you master exploding out of the simple crossovers. But all right, that's gonna about cut it for Malcom Brodgon. I would definitely say fun card. If you're doing spotlights and you don't have a 6'5", 3-and-D point guard, you're in luck, because now you have one for free who has Hall of Fame range extender, Hall of Fame quick draw, and Hall of Fame clamps, as well as being 6'5", having a decent dunk package, and outside of having a subpar but usable hesitation, has access to the rest of the elite handles you want, with the highlights being his running behind the back, which is a park version of that, very glitchy. You can definitely lean on that move, and the other highlight being this step back here, because this will allow you to create space. As you can see, you can combo that step back into itself, and you can combo it very well out of dribble moves. Any dribble move it combos out of pretty well. And that's a nice way to create space, which is really the biggest problem as a dribbler, people trying to crowd you and alter your animations. So as long as a character has something that allows them to create space, if you're good at the behind the back dribble, the momentum dribble, that's the best time to use it. Because when you create that space, you can also shoot, right? So once you go into this step back, your opponent, you're reading your opponent at that point. And the opponent has you can just whatever your opponent does, you can just do the opposite counter. And Malcom Brogdon has that, which I think makes him a good card. All right. Even if you play him as a Coney, he's going to be pretty solid. The one weakness to this card really would be his interior defense. It's not super strong. But some cards still perform well as interior defenders, even when they don't have bad stats. Sometimes because they just have a big body. So I would say before we count him out completely as an interior defender, you're going to have to take him out into those triple threat and unlimited streets and see what happens when cards like LeBron try to post him up and stuff like that, and Michael Jordan in particular. That's really who we're thinking about, because the defensive role of your shooting guard isn't always to guard the point guard. It's when they switch over and guard the other shooting guard. Now, if the other shooting guard's a perimeter player, Brogdon should perform excellently. But if the other point guard is a post-up, down-low oriented player like Michael Jordan, you might find him wanting. You got to play the card to see how he performs in that regard. All right. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope this was helpful in deciding what to do with your time. But he costs 0 resources as long as you have Pacers players in your lineups. And if you watch this channel or virtually any other YouTube channel, you already have that Lance Stevenson, because he was basically 2K MT for the longest time. I think he's up at 8, 9, or 10 KMT right now, because not only is he out of packs, but people are doing these spotlight challenges. So hopefully you got in on that Lance Stevenson game, and if you have him in like a Sabonis or a Miles Turner or a Victor Oladipo, his challenge should be absolutely no problem for you to complete, even if the rest of the cards are all golds and silvers and emeralds and token rewards. All right, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I will see you in the next one, and peace.